Today I'm going to show you how I teach beginner students to hold the violin. Now, violin playing posture should be as natural as possible. Sometimes I joke we should be lazy violinists, only do what is necessary and nothing more. No raising the shoulder or tensing the neck or anything. So firstly, ask the student to stand tall with their feet shoulder width apart and take their violin and place it on their shoulder. Most people will instinctively move towards the violin, but just make sure it's completely passive. Place the violin right on their collarbone, hard up against the neck without a gap. Once it's there, you can ask them to turn their head and look at the violin. The jaw should then be sitting comfortably on the chin rest, and then after that you can show them that the violin stays there all on its own. The violin should sit comfortably, held up only by the weight of the head. There should be no need to squeeze or raise the shoulder, provided, and this is important, that the chin rest and shoulder rest are well fitted to the specific player. The violin can then be additionally supported with the left hand. I recommend holding the shoulder or body of the violin here until the fingers are needed later. You can even teach them to have nice round fingers and a straight wrist to prepare them for their future hand position. Now, getting a young child to do this consistently is no easy task, and I've tried a lot of different approaches. In fact, if you have a foolproof approach, please let us know in the comments below because we'd all love to hear from you. In any case, here are my favourite two approaches that I've found to be the most successful so far. First, start by teaching them rest position, which is simply cradling the violin under the right arm and holding it carefully like a baby. Then take the violin with the left hand and hold it facing out right in front of you. Place the right hand under here. This is optional but necessary for the very young ones. Then point the violin all the way out to the left and bring it into the shoulder like an airplane or a rocket, depending on the student, like this. And as it comes into land, then you can get them to turn their head and then you have the violin hold. If that doesn't work, try this variation. Hold the violin in rest position again, take it with the left hand out to the front like before, hold underneath, and this time instead of going out to the left, place it on your head. And then bring the violin down past the left ear. This one's more like a helicopter, and it will come into land on the shoulder like that. Turn the head, and you're good to go again. Even with the best teaching, the violin will often end up in the wrong place. Sometimes in the middle, sometimes too high on the shoulder, sometimes with a big gap here, or sometimes even on the wrong side. And this needs to be adjusted by the teacher and the parent many, many times. Just keep guiding it into the right place until it feels normal for the student, even if you have to do it 100 times. A good posture is one of the most important components of playing the violin well, so take care to get it right from the beginning. So here's a list of 5 things to look out for and avoid. Number 1, if a student is playing pizzicato or plucking like this, it's much easier to bring the violin straight in front of them. But this will make bowing much more difficult in the future. Number 2 is pointing the violin at the floor. This is extremely common. Make sure it's horizontal, it will help the sound and some other things. Number 3, falling asleep on the chin rest, or should I say cheek rest, is very bad for your neck. Number 4, squeezing with the neck. This one's a little bit harder to catch, but if you look at my neck tendons, when I'm squeezing the violin, they stick out more than when I relax. If you can see that, then you know that the student is gripping the chin rest far too hard. This is a really bad habit and can cause a lot of different problems, which we won't go into now, but look out for that. The 5th thing to look out for happens when you introduce the music. So it's totally natural to look at the music front on like this, to face the music stand. And then the violin will often come and face the music stand too, ending up in terrible posture. So to avoid this, turn the feet 45 degrees out to the right, then you can put the violin on the shoulder and it will point at the music stand, you can see the music, and then you still have good posture. Now here are 3 things to look out for that will help. Number 1, it's good to think of an open chest when you're working on your posture. Not hunched, but open. Try imagining that you're holding a very large beach ball. This forces you to open up. Now maintain this feeling as you hold the violin. Beach ball, violin, rather than beach ball, violin. Open chest, open chest. Okay, number 2, this one's a really easy trick. Just ask the student, are you proud to play the violin? And immediately they'll stand up really nicely. Okay, 3rd and finally, it is your responsibility to teach the parent how to check for many of these things, especially the basics, like is the violin horizontal and is it on the shoulder? Now, hopefully the student is going to be repeating this many, many times before you see them again. You don't want them to be practicing it wrong. So just to recap, keep things as natural as possible. No need to raise the shoulder or anything. Simply place the violin there, turn the head, and you're good to go. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and check out my next video on teaching the left hand basics. Thanks for watching and good luck.